So now we have all those values in our array. So there's a nice little command in processing called print array. All we have to do is put the name of the array in there, and if we run down here in the console area, it'll print the contents of the array, so we can go up a little bit. And remember, it's just gonna keep printing, so let's try this a different way. Let's see if we can put this in a text command. I don't know if it's going to work, so we're just going to see what happens. Let's copy this and put it here. And we're going to take this. I'm going to copy this in here. And let's put this at 350 or 300. And let's just see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work. I guess we'll find out. Live on the wild side. Let's see. The method. Text, int, float, and the type is not applicable. All right, I guess that doesn't work, so we'll forget that for now. Okay, let me show you another way to print the array. We could say, we could use a for loop, int j equals 0, j less than 8, j plus plus, and we can just say print. And what are we going to print? We're going to print what's stored in location J. So it starts from 0. We'll go all the way up to 7, but it won't include 8. So let's go ahead. Now it's going to print going across this time, and it's just going to keep repeating. All right, so that's good. So now we know how to do that. Now, some other things that we might do, and I'm going to comment this out for now because I don't need it to keep printing. What if we wanted to find the average of those test scores? Well, we could use another loop. We could say for k int k equals 0, k less than 8, k plus plus. And let's make, we're going to call it a sum, array sum, and then eventually we're going to do array average. So we'll call it a average equals 0. So the first thing we need to do in our loop, well, what we need to do in our loop is add up all the elements or the things in the array. So we're going to say a sum equals, and we're going to say tests of k plus equals. So that'll add up all, well, how about we do it this way? A sum plus tests of k. So that'll make a total of all the elements in the array, add them up. Okay, now we should probably print something to our output so we know what the sum is. So I'm going to steal that command from above, and I'm going to say array sum is equal to a sum. And let's put that at 300. I don't think we've used that yet. And that seems to be reasonable. And then let's also calculate the average. Let's do that right before. So the average we could calculate as a sum divided by, we could use k because we know k will eventually get to 8 to end the loop. And then we could add another text command that says array average, avg, and then put we called it AA average. Let's do that before we get an error. AA average. So, mm, mm, oh, okay. So we can't use K because we declared it inside of the for loop. Let's just go ahead and use 8. And then that error will go away. And so we have a boo-boo because we printed the same thing, one on top of each other. So let's make the other one at 350. And that looks about right. If I took that and divided it by 8, I'd get about 82. Okay, so let's move on. Let's make a different kind of array. Let's make a creating a string array or a string list. So strings are like words. And so when we do this, we're going to start the same way. We're going to say, we got to tell processing what we're going to store. We're going to say string array, and we'll say names equals a new string. And let's just put 3 things in there to save some time. So I'm going to say names of 0 equals Kim. Names of 1 equals Mo. And names of 2 equals Sally, let's say. So that will populate that string, and we can quickly say print array names. So you can see that it will print those out, and they are string is a new string. Oh, we used the wrong. We needed square brackets here. So I'm making the same kind of mistakes you are going to make. That's for sure. So I'm trying to think too far ahead. So there's our array right there, just like we did it. Now, I want you to actually comment this out because I want to show you a different way to make that string array. This is a shortcut way. This is using something called an initializer list. So when I use an initializer list, it's going to start the same up to the equal sign. But we can populate each one of the locations in the array or the list by using a shortcut method. We use a curly bracket, and now we just type what goes in each location in the order we want it to go in the array. So I'm typing the same things we had in the same order. Oops. When you're done, put a closing curly bracket and a semicolon. So processing knows that you're making a string array called names. And then with these curly brackets, it's going to count up how many things you have in there, and we'll make a list or an array that size. And in the first position, it stores Kim, the second Mo, and the third Sally. So if I run this again, you're going to see that down here, it has stored everything the correct way. Either way works. If you know ahead of time, you know, what you're putting in the array, you can always use this shortcut method. So this is create and populate an array / list. I'm going to continue on using an initializer list. I think that a lot of you will use this while you're playing around with arrays. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave this file for right now. And in the next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the other images in the image file. And what we're going to do is we are going to make an array of images. And then we're going to use a loop to print all of those images on the bottom of a screen. Okay, so we'll be back in a second.